Khamzat Chimaev lost at UFC 328, and now the entire conversation around him has changed. Not just because he lost, but because Dustin Poirier says his aura is gone. Jorge Masvidal says the signs were already there. Henry Cejudo thinks he may have actually won the fight anyway. And now one of the most respected coaches in MMA is literally begging Khamzat to come train with him so this never happens again. So yeah, the post-fight debate around Khamzat is getting messy, because depending on who you ask, he either got exposed, got robbed, faded from the weight cut, or just needs the right adjustments to come back even stronger. Welcome back to the Rear Naked Choke. No fluff, no filler, just straight to the point MMA news. And if you're already here, hit the like button and subscribe so more MMA fans can find the channel. Let's start with Dustin Poirier, because his take was one of the bluntest. He said Khamzat's aura took a hit at UFC 328, and that matters because Khamzat has spent a long time building that image of being the guy who can break people before the fight even starts. But Poirier's point was that Sean Strickland was never intimidated, and once that happened, Khamzat ended up fighting Sean's kind of fight. And if future opponents now look at that performance and think, okay, he can be dragged into deep water, he can be made uncomfortable, and he can be broken down, then that intimidation factor just isn't the same anymore. That's what Dustin was getting at. And honestly, he's probably right. You can still be dangerous, you can still be elite, but once the mystery gets cracked a little, the aura changes. Jorge Masvidal pushed that conversation even further. He said this wasn't even the first time Khamzat showed signs of breaking. From Jorge's point of view, you could already see it against Gilbert Burns, you could see it again against Kamaru Usman, and now against Sean Strickland. It got exposed on an even bigger stage. Masvidal basically framed Khamzat as a front runner, a guy who looks terrifying when everything is going his way, but starts looking very different once he hits resistance. That's a strong claim, and whether you agree with it or not, it's definitely a conversation more people are going to have now, after seeing Sean survive the early danger and drag the fight into those longer rounds. Now here's where it gets interesting, because not everyone agrees Khamzat actually lost that clearly. Henry Cejudo said he thinks Khamzat may have gotten robbed, and he argued that the big swing point was the second round. From Henry's view, Sean clearly won that round, but outside of that, he feels Khamzat might have taken enough of the others to win the fight, maybe 3-2, maybe even more depending on how you score it. The biggest mistake, according to Cejudo, came after Sean clipped Khamzat hard. Henry said Khamzat got hurt, and instead of staying composed and recovering on the feet, he went straight into a takedown attempt. From Henry's point of view, that told the story. Once you do that, you show the other guy and the judges that something is wrong. So Cejudo's angle is basically this: Khamzat made the wrong choice at the exact wrong time, and that changed the whole perception of the fight. Now, whether that means robbery is another matter, but it's definitely one of the more interesting breakdowns that's come out since the event. And then there's Firas Zahabi, because while some people are criticizing Khamzat, Zahabi is offering him a solution, a very direct one. He literally said, Khamzat, come train with me. Not in a vague, polite way either. He's full-on begging for somebody to get that message to him. Zahabi's pitch is simple: come to Montreal, train with me, train with Jorge Masvidal, and we will fix the issues. Better conditioning, better footwork, better striking, better preparation, so this kind of fade never happens again. That's a huge public offer, because Zahabi isn't just saying, I like the guy. He's basically saying, I know what went wrong and I know how to fix it. And that's the kind of thing people are going to pay attention to, because if Khamzat really wants to rebuild after his first professional loss, changes like that start becoming part of the conversation. Now, staying with the idea of what actually went wrong, one more thing people are looking at is Sean Strickland's grappling, because a lot of people came out of UFC 328 saying, okay, maybe Sean's grappling is actually way more serious than people gave him credit for. New training footage surfaced of him working with BJJ black belt Achilles Rocha, and it immediately got attention because it backed up what we just saw in the fight. This wasn't just Sean surviving through toughness alone. This was him showing actual technical answers in the grappling against one of the most dangerous wrestle-heavy fighters in the sport. And that's important, because now Sean's win doesn't just look like a miracle performance, it looks like a game plan backed by real preparation. Now, one of the stranger post-fight stories had nothing to do with technique and everything to do with media. Sean Strickland got into a surprising back and forth with Ariel Helwani after Helwani criticized him for walking back his pre-fight trash talk and apologizing to Khamzat. After the fight, Helwani's point was that you can't say all those insane things in the build-up, say them with your chest, and then immediately say after the fight it was just promotion. From Helwani's perspective, that doesn't wash. Sean then fired back hard, called Ariel a leech, and basically said the hate was real. Both guys said wrong things, and once they went through the fight, the respect changed the dynamic. Helwani responded in a much calmer tone, but pushed back on the idea that he's leeching off Sean or the sport. And honestly, this whole feud is really about one question. How seriously are fans supposed to take pre-fight hatred once the fight is over? That's really the core of it. Now, one final angle worth touching is how quickly MMA can rewrite a fighter's image. A week ago, Khamzat was still the terrifying force a lot of people saw as almost inevitable. Now, after one loss, you've got people saying his aura is gone, saying he fades, saying he got robbed, saying he needs a new camp, saying Sean exposed him, and saying this may have changed the whole future of the division. That's what one loss in MMA can do. And for Khamzat, the next move now matters more than ever, because if he comes back the right way, this becomes part of the growth story. If he doesn't, this becomes the night everyone points to and says that was the moment the myth cracked. So right now you've got Dustin Poirier saying Khamzat's aura took a huge hit, Jorge Masvidal saying the warning signs were already there, Henry Cejudo arguing the fight may have gone the wrong way on the cards, Firas Zahabi publicly trying to recruit Khamzat to Montreal, new footage making Sean Strickland's grappling look even more legit, and Ariel Helwani clashing with Strickland over what was real and what was promotion. That's a loaded fallout. Let me know in the comments what stands out most to you. Did Khamzat really lose his aura at UFC 328? And if you were him, would you actually change camps after a loss like this? And if you want more straight to the point MMA news, make sure you subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. I'll